You can make it. Oh, you're gonna make it. This trial you're going through, God's gonna show you just what to do. You're gonna make it. Somehow you're gonna make it. This song made me a lot of money, though I didn't write it for that. It was the worst day of my life. My world had crashed. The only person I'd ever kissed in my lifetime had decided to love another man, and I was just shaken. Divorce is hard to recover from. And Alton Garrison, the head of all the Assemblies of God preachers, was sitting over on the side, and he looked at me and says, "You're going to make it, Mike. You can make it." And as soon as he said that, I was sitting at the piano, and I took off on these songs. You can make it. Oh, you can make it. This trial you're going through, God's going to show you just what to do. You're going to make it somehow. You're going to make it somehow. I don't care what's going wrong. God won't let it last too long. You're not in this thing alone. You can make it. A few days later, you can make it one more mile. You can make it one more mile. God made a promise. He won't ever let you down. You can make it one more mile. You can make it one more mile. God made a promise, and He won't let you down. God made a promise, and He won't let you down. You can make it one more mile. You can make it one more mile. God made a promise, and He's someone we can trust. You can make it one more mile. Just say, I'm holding on. Somebody says, how you're doing in a trial. Just say, holding on. Hold on to what? Well, not a suicide rope. You're holding on to a promise that God made. There's 783,000 words in the Bible. I've read the Bible well over 100 times. I told you about my falling in love with the Bible. When I was 15 years old, a man named Sidney Jones came to preach for my daddy. Brilliant. Oh, could he preach? And a know-it-all, arrogant, but he was so good. On a Thursday morning prayer meeting, he walks over to me and he says, Mike, if you read less than 20 chapters a day in the Bible, if you read less than 20 chapters a day in the Bible, you have no business calling yourself a man of God. So I started reading 20 chapters a day in the Bible. When I was 21, I realized I could read the Bible through in 1 month, 40 chapters a day. I kept notes, and I read 40 chapters a day for a long time. Then at 35 years old, I heard about Jerry Lucas, the famous basketball player. Brilliant. Somebody told me he was the second memory expert in the whole world. I think Harry Lorraine was number one. I rented an apartment, got two preacher friends of mine. I was 35. And I headed out to San Francisco. Seemed like everything had crashed when I was 33. But his goal was to teach us to memorize the entire New Testament. 2.5 chapters a day, 4.5 months. And we started at 8 o'clock to 12:30, 5 days a week. 8 o'clock, 12:30. He had a system that Aristotle and Socrates had used in the history days, and called visualization, of visualizing a room, visualizing furniture in a room, and it was possible. I started memorizing 2.5 chapters a day. At night, from 6 o'clock on, I did the martial arts with Professor Charles Gaylord, the number one at his teaching. The little town was Fremont, outside of San Jose, California, outside of San Francisco. I'm willing, Lord, to learn. Willing, Lord, to learn. I will listen to every word. Lord, I'm willing, Lord, to learn. I'm willing, Lord, to learn. I'm willing, Lord, to learn. Learning is receiving. It was a conference after I had studied the 72 laws in the Bible, and I've got books on them. I had never heard of that in my life. All I had heard about my life was about God's love, God's love, God's love, God's love. God loves you, God loves you, God loves you, God loves you. Well, when I was 26 years old, flying back from great meetings in Nairobi, Kenya, where I lived for about a year, great people there. By the way, James Mena pastors Wisdom Sanctuary there. If you ever get a chance to meet him, he's one of the greatest men in the world. He's very close to the presidents. We've had lunch and all those things together. He's a great man of God, James Mena. Want to remember that. I was flying back from Nairobi, and I said, Lord, Steve Wynn is worth $5 billion, and he owns a casino. He doesn't go to church, doesn't read the Bible, but he has $5 billion. My daddy prayed 4 hours to 10 hours a day. Read only one book in the world outside the Bible. Read the Bible every day and night, and my dad prayed day and night. Good man, pure man, but he didn't have $550 to pay my school bill at Bible college. I had to leave Bible college on the 4th of February, 1967. I remember it like last night. I told the accountants, I said, I just got a job. If you'll give me 3 weeks, I'll have your money in your hand. Nope. You leave now or you pay now. That was the Bible school. That was the Christian way of approaching a young preacher, 19 years old, 18. Learning is an unchanging world, family. It's an unchanging world. And there's so much to learn. One day I got to admire Bill Gates because he was worth $77 billion. I called Barnes and Noble. I said, do you have any books by Bill Gates? Yes, we do. About $18, $20. I was 58 years old. I said, what's the name of it? Business at the Speed of Thought. Doing business at the speed of thought. I'm a very slow learner. I read everything real slow. I have a speed reading course, but I read everything. I want to understand everything. If I'm in a conversation with you, you're 5 years old, I will remember every word you ever said. I've been with Donald Trump numerous times, hours. I remember every word he said. I abandoned myself. I was dating a very, very famous actress one time, and she's the one that taught me that. She said, pour all of yourself into a moment. Pour all of yourself into a moment. I wish you'd tell me your name if you're watching me. I'd love to know if you're watching me. That means a lot to me. Well, it changed my life. Abandon yourself to the moment. Empty yourself to a moment. I will listen to Debona's 10-year-old as close as I will listen to Bill Gates. Words matter to me. Words are huge to me. That's why I've written 1,000 books. Words mean everything to me. That's why I bought 13,000 and read 10,000 books. God said, call me the Word. God said that. He didn't say, call me a dinosaur maker. He says, call me the Word. I love your word, Lord. I love your word. I love your word, Lord. I love your word. It is my shelter in times of storm. It's my wisdom when everything is going wrong. Oh, it's my constant song, Leslie. Juarez, Mexico. Boy, I hadn't been there in years, Leslie. Merci from Paris, France. Somebody from Paris is watching me right here. Ashy is Hodge or something. I don't know how to spell your last name. But I'm thrilled that you're here from Juarez and France. I've been to both places many times. Spent many a night and spoke for David Wilkerson. Remember him? He wrote a great book called The Cross and the Switchblade that's worth reading. I preached for David in Spain, Portuguese, France, Germany, Belgium, and great preachers. Larry Johnson is here. I love those words. That's being bold and said, I'm here. Me too, Larry. I felt a stirring about going at 4 o'clock live for 20 minutes or so here. Debona's got some questions for me and some wisdom talk people have talked about from my books. And let me show you the books I'd love for you to have. The Memory Bible, my favorite scriptures to memorize, the Eagle's Handbook, 25 rewards for reading the Bible. All of these, only $2. If to go to my website, MikeMurdockBooks.com. MikeMurdockBooks.com, $2 each. Some are free. Goals. Where did I learn that? From the greatest minds in my generation. I listened to every word Bill Gates ever said, read every word he ever said. President Obama, his wife is smart. And everything Bill Clinton ever said, the president. I read every word in the diary of Ronald Reagan. The difference in men are the goals they set. Your goals decide who you listen to. Your goals decide what you're willing to change. Your goals have everything to do with your daily routine. Your goals decide what you do every day. 31 wisdom keys on adversity. Have I had any? Of course. The best, I got a wisdom key. The best, get crucified first. 41 scriptures I wish everyone knew. They're life-changing. 2-Minute Wisdom of Mike Murdock. It's book 246. Only $2 download. 77 wisdom keys for preachers. I went through. One of them is discern Judas without discussing him. The unhappy disciple is the one who becomes your Judas. Discern the difference between a problem and a problem person. Esther was never revealed until Vashti got out of town. When you ask God for a miracle, He will ask you for a decision. Nobody is ever as they first appear. The presence of God is the only place where your weakness will die. This isn't a book called 77 Wisdom Keys for Preachers. Let me read you some of these before we go. Where will you invest your life next? In those you honor, in those you pursue, in those willing to change. Your life is an investment. This is an investment. I didn't have to be here at 4 o'clock. I don't have to be here now. It's an investment. I made a little audio called a phone tree. And I called my longtime staff member, would you send this 2-minute phone tree out for me to see if anybody will watch me live on Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, X, or YouTube. Pastor David Martinez, who works with our ministry, wrote a fabulous book that's on Amazon called Honor. Honor is the secret mystery to all favor. Favor is the mystery to all financial blessing. I'll say that again slow. Honor doesn't mean you bow down and kiss somebody's hand. But all the 10 Commandments are about one word, honor. All of them, about one word, honor. The first 4 deal with honoring God. The last 6 deal with honoring people. And the first commandment of God, where He made a covenant of blessing you, was if you honored your mother and father. And there's 2 things God promised. God's very much reward-oriented. Very much reward-oriented. Very much reward-oriented. I want to give these 8 books to 8 people. I want to give these 8 books that I've just mentioned. I want to give these 8 books to 8 people, but not in a download. I want to make you a personal copy. I've asked the Lord for 407 monthly partners for our radio. I've asked the Lord for those who will pray for me. There's 66 books in the Bible. And the first 8 people who call 407 support, the first 8 people who call between now and 8 o'clock tonight, that's 4 more hours. The first 8 people who call and sow $66 seed to help me stay on the radio, I want to send you all 8 of these books. We don't put them in stores anymore. Everything's downloaded. But I want to honor the Bible people. Have you ever heard my song? I'm a Bible man. I'm a Bible man. I'm in love with Jesus. I'm in love with Jesus. His blood washed my sins away. His love turned my nights to day. I'm a Bible man. I fell in love with my King. Where will you invest your life next? In those you honor, those who pursue you like Zacchaeus pursued Jesus, like Elisha pursued Elijah, and those willing to change. Number 2, conversations or encyclopedias of knowledge. You discern people through conversation. Solomon said that the first way to know somebody's wise in chapter 1 is if they're a listener. They're a receiver. They're a receiver. Number 3. Brother Mike, I thought that God was in control of everything. If you have a brain the size of a skunk, you know better than that. If God controlled everything, there's nothing to pray for. If God controls everything, explain Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do well. If God controls everything, explain why Solomon made a statement. Solomon made a statement. And he says, in the multitude of advisors, there is safety. There is safety. Every conversation needs a healer. Matthew 5, verse 25. Anytime you enter into a conversation, be the person who listens. Be the person who asks questions. A healer is a listener. Number 4. Effective conversation is the reason anything succeeds. Anything. Faulty conversation is the reason everything fails. Father, 8's the number of new beginnings, and I've asked you for 8 people who will sow a $66 seed between now and 6 o'clock. That's another hour and a half. I ask you for 8 people who will sow a $66 seed to help me stay on the radio in Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, Canada, America. Father, I've asked you for 8 people who will sow a Bible seed of $66 for the gospel to be preached. I don't need the $66 to buy me some clothes. My clothes are all paid for. But I ask you for 8 phone calls, and I will print personal copies of these 8 books for these 8 people. The phone number is 407. It's $425 Dallas time. We'll re-air this, but this particular offer is only for 8 people. 8's the number of a new beginning in the Bible. You want to write that down? 407 support. And I want to see if, Brother David, I want to see if Janice Green will answer the phone an extra hour for me. Yes, sir. Till 6 o'clock. There's 8 people that I'm offering to honor just for a $66 seed for my radio. Brother Mike, what if I don't have $66? Then you don't sow it. It's only for people who sow it. Father, you said when we opened our hands, you would open our windows. Jesus said he would bless us back 100-fold, like he told Peter. I don't know the other blessing that you're going to arrange for these 8 people, but these are 8 people who love the Bible enough to change their plans on a Thursday afternoon, August the 20th. And listen to me. Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, X, YouTube. There are 8 people that I'm asking God, sow $66. You don't have to do it cash now. But if you'll sow $66 within 1 month, to help me stay on the radio, I want to send you as a special gift all 8 of these books. 2-Minute Wisdom, 41 Scriptures I Wish Everyone Knew, 77 Wisdom Keys, especially for preachers, 31 Wisdom Keys when you're going through adversity, how to set goals and achieve them, the Eagle's Handbook. There's 8 books, and the first 8 people who call, and the first 8 people who sow the $66 seed, call 407 support. Mike, I'm with you. There's also a free book called 407. Thank you. Before I go, I want to pray. I believe in the harvest. My God made a promise to me. I believe in the harvest. Call 407. Book is support. Pamela Pettit's here. I love you, Pamela. She said, this is a harbor to be here with you. Thank you with all my heart. Bishop Todd Smith. Where are you from, Todd? Thank you. Thank you, man of God, for joining me in these 30 minutes. We'll show you on the screen, but I actually just want you to call the number, 407 support. Try to call it by another hour and a half. I'm going to ask Janice Green, one of my key intercessors, to stay at the office, if she will, till 6 o'clock. That's another hour and a half. $66 is a seed of honoring the Bible because of 66 books in the Bible. I will use your $66 to pay for radio time. 7 nights a week in 5 countries. America, Australia, Mexico, New Zealand, Canada. Bishop Todd Smith. Bishop, I decree that in 30 days, any seed that you plant will triple back in 30 days as a sign from God to you. I love you, family. My phone number is 407-SUPPORT. I'm asking God for 8 phone calls in an hour and a half. Not for me. Not for me. $66 for the radio to preach, to reach 5 countries, to pay for the radio. Thank you for your being with me tonight. I'll be on the radio at 8 o'clock Texas time, 7 nights a week, as you know. Can you show that radio sign up there, son? I don't know if you can show the radio. Heaven 600 connected with iHeartRadio. I'm on the radio 7 nights a week, 8 o'clock Texas time, 9 o'clock if you live in New York or Atlanta. I close with this. When I reach for my God, He answers. My God answers. Good night.